Welcome to the ATP Project. You're your host, Steve and Nick, and today we're doing it's kind of a weird one today.
It is.
We're talking about labels and how to interpret them, how to read them, because it's tricky.
It is very tricky. There's a lot of little tricks and things that manufacturers do with labels that sort of trick you into thinking it's something that maybe it isn't.
That's true. Because what you want to do when you put a label on a product, the ultimate thing is, yes, I could love to say inform the customer. No, you want to sell the bloody thing. Okay? You want to sell it. You want to, it's like, you know, if you're on Tinder or one of those dating sites, you want to put your best foot forward, don't you?
That's apparently
someone who's not on the site, I promise. I've got the married ring. So, but you know, that's what you do. You try and sell the product. In this case, the product is these health foods. And we've got some real devious ones here, and we've got some really interesting things.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a quick fact, Nick. How many ways can you put sugar on a label?
72 we found. 72 different ways to say sugar.
Yeah. So some of them sound brilliant. Some of them sound weird.
Yeah.
Some of them I've never heard of.
No.
Some of them are like panela. What the hell's that?
Panela sugar. They just didn't put the sugar at the end of it.
Yeah. It's like, you know, and but some of them I love. Like I do love dehydrated cane juice.
I know.
That's
sounds
one
good,
of my
doesn't
favourites. That's a really cool.
I do like that. Yeah, I do like the sound of that. It sounds good, doesn't it?
But you know, it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. What about Barbados sugar? That sounds kind of fun, doesn't it?
Oh, it reminds me of that song.
It must be very, very Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've got numbers. We're going to talk about different numbers, like food and dyes, and you know, they've got little numbers there which mean nothing to nobody. But we're going to talk about also herbs.
Supplements.
Because herbs, you know, there's different forms of herbs, different types of herbs, different extract ratios and all this sort of stuff. And I've got some examples here of herbs that have been, you know, put on there and it is a little bit misleading.
Yeah, it is a little misleading. So I think we're going to go in quite a few different directions today. So it's not going to be just about reading food labels. We're going to dive a lot deeper and get some really cool information that people might not know. So it's going to be fun, I think.
Well, do you want to start with foods?
Yeah, let's start with foods and then we'll move on,
So a food label looks like this one I prepared earlier. Here's some peanut butter, and it's like, if you're looking at the camera, it's just a panel on the back, and it's like a square thing, and it's got all sorts of things on there. It usually starts off with the total energy, then you got protein, fats, carbohydrates, dietary sodium, and this has niacin on there for some reason, which is vitamin B3. I don't know why, but mostly they don't. And then underneath it, and this is peanut butter, it's got the ingredients that are put in there in order of the amount you put in there. So the first ingredient in peanut butter is, guess what? Peanuts. The second ingredient in this one is sugar. The third ingredient, vegetable fat, and then you got salt. So there's only 4 things. So I picked that one out. So ingredients go from the most to the least on food labels.
Yes. Yep.
So that's an easy example. But when you've got things like here's another example. Really, as I bend down, sorry for people who are listening. But here's a protein bar. It's our one. It's our protein bar, and of course, it's got the foods in order as well. And the first one, of course, in our one, surprise, surprise, is Body Balance collagen peptides. So that's the first ingredient. Then you've got water. Then you got dark compound sugar, which is dark chocolate. Then you got then you go into the salts, the soluble fibre, corn fibre, erythritol with natural sweetener, bovine gelatin, stick them together, polydextrose, which is a fibre, natural flavours, cocoa powder, glycerine, agar, and natural preservatives and natural sweeteners, stevia. So we list that on the label there of a bar. Can I give you another bar?
Yes, please. Oh, yeah, give me this bar, Steve.
This is it's funny because we're laughing because before the podcast, I've got this thing to show you. It's the most popular bar on the market, and I don't know whether can I say the name of it or not.
I don't know if we can say the name or not.
Don't need to, do we?
Maybe
no,
we better not.
We'll give it a miss.
Keep everyone happy.
It's sold at everywhere. And I've got the ingredient list here now. Without
a health bar, mind you, not a chocolate bar. This is a health bar.
Look, I was going to put a Mars bar up there and say, look at all the sugar in this. Woo! But the audience would go to sleep.
Yes.
We don't want that. So I've got a health bar, and it's a health bar that is obviously marketed by the name of it. I won't mention the name of it, but it's obviously for losing weight.
That's right.
Okay? So it's a weight loss bar. Now, just have a look at the amount of ingredients in there.
No, it's literally
It's like a paragraph
have to be
of
40
shit.
or 50
Like
ingredients.
you heard our bar, and I know everything in there. There's nothing weird.
Yeah.
There's no little numbers or anything stupid like that. There's numbers in here. We'll get to that. But the number one ingredient of this health bar that's used to lose weight is chocolate coating.
Nice.
The number one ingredient of chocolate coating is sugar. The second most ingredient is vegetable fat, and it just goes down from there.
Right.
Okay, so after the chocolate coating, that's all sugar, the next ingredient is glycerine.
Yeah.
So you know, nothing. The next ingredient there is glucose syrup, which is a type of
sugar.
sugar. You get it. And then you've got soy in it, which is obviously can be problematic.
Yeah.
The next ingredient, sugar.
Nice. It's
So
just sugar.
can you get the sort of you know? And then there's some protein, and then it's invert syrup. Is that another type of sugar?
That's sugar, Steve.
You know, and then it goes on there. And then it's got all the synthetic vitamins in there, synthetic minerals. And what the weird thing about this is a chocolate bar, as you can imagine, with the chocolate coating, so it looks quite chocolatey. But they've also coloured it with colour 155 and 153.
Okay, this is the one, Steve. Is this the one you was hanging out?
This is a health bar. Remember, this is a health bar to lose weight. I know I use the word health in inverted commas. Yes, weight loss bar. It's got 155. 155, just for those who, and you can just quickly look this up online. 155 is a brown or chocolate-coloured synthetic azo dye, which is used as a food colourant, and it's usually produced from coal tar or petroleum.
Oh no, really?
That's 155, absolutely.
Oh, nice. So we've got a bit of sugar in there, a bit of vegetable fat, a bit of petroleum type substance.
It gets worse.
Okay, we can get
The
worse.
other colour, and I don't know why they put this colour in there, it's a bluish colour. If you don't know that synthetic blue colour that you see in certain drinks, I won't.
Yes.
It's like the colour of this lid if you're watching it. But
so
it's that bright blue that you see everywhere. It's colour 133, very common colouring agent. And I'll read what it says about this colouring agent. It's food 133 is a food additive commonly used as a colouring agent in food and beverages. It's a synthetic dye, it gives a blue colouring to food. It's also used in compound with tartrazine, which is, you know, tartrazine, terrible agent, to give various shades of green. So you can make it green, but there's no tartrazine in this bar, thankfully. When you look up Food Additives World, it says food colour 133 may cause irritation to the eyes and skin.
Nice.
So if you're eating a bar with your skin, it can irritate it.
It's great.
Gets worse.
Yep.
Some people may develop allergies consuming it. It also may cause cancer.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, is that all, Steve?
That's it.
That's it.
So it's
That's
not
the
that
only
easy.
thing.
So you've got those ingredients with those additives, and I haven't gone through all the ingredients. They're just too long.
Many,
It just goes on forever. But, you know, it's all like, you know, I just had a quick look. It's got more glucose syrup down the label and apple juice concentrate, which is sugar.
Oh, it's more sugar.
No, it goes on forever. And canola oil, which I know you love, Nick.
Oh, I love it. It's my favourite.
And there's a vegetable fat powder in it made up of sunflower oil, glucose syrup from
more
wheat,
sugar.
and milk protein. And so it just like,
wow.
and that's a healthy
Crazy.
bar.
That's crazy. So literally in all of those ingredients, you'd be hard pressed to find one that is actually an actual real food.
Well,
Like
real
an actual
food.
proper whole food in that bar.
Now, you know, we know bars are processed. Our bars processed, but look at the ingredient list.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean about reading the label. So the biggest ingredient in this is chocolate
Yeah.
that you get on Mars bars. Sugar, chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, not Belgian chocolate, which is dark chocolate, dairy-free. It's sugar, chocolate. That's the most abundant ingredient in this.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's crazy. So
I
no
just
wonder
love it.
They taste so great, and people, that's what gets people in. They taste so good. They say on the label that they're for like weight loss, and that's it. That's how they get people in.
Well,
I
I got it. When I looked at the feedback online in this particular, I can say it's from Chemist Warehouse because that's where, that's not going to narrow it down because they sell
There's
everything.
a lot there. Yeah.
Not there. And the reviews on Chemist Warehouse was remarkably how well it tasted, and I can't believe this is so healthy. It's like, yeah. I mean,
I can't believe. Actually, I get that a lot. I hear that a lot. I can't believe it's this is healthy because it tastes so good. I'm like, there's a reason it tastes so good. Except, take away the bars we use stevia, things like that. But you compare that to one of these bars, the sugar level is completely different. Like that artificial sugar float taste of just that loaded sugar is horrendous. But people love it. And
it's funny, they didn't list the nutritional panel online or anywhere for that.
Didn't they?
So I was going to have to go and buy one. I thought, I'm not going to buy it. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, what's the nutritional sort of write-up on it, but no, they haven't.
They didn't have one. I didn't provide one online. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, well, it's just shocker.
So, I mean, I know, that it's horrendous amount of sugar. It'll be horrible. Now, sugar, let's say you're trying to lose weight, but sugar's the worst thing you can have. It's just it counters everything.
Crazy.
But I've got another nutrition panel here for my old breakfast.
Yeah, let's go with
which is Wheat Bix.
Yep.
Now, one thing I noticed about Wheat Bix is when you look at it, it's actually quite cheap.
It is cheap.
So
it's cheap to make.
The average consumer, and I'm not saying they're dumb or that this is the normal consumer, would look at this and the way it's marketed, and on the nutrition label I've got it in front of me, it's got 4 points. It's got low in sugar, high in fibre, high in vitamins, high in iron. Now, if you just read that, and I'm just reading that straight off the label, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And if you've got a family, a lot of children as well that you need to feed, it's going to be, and they think that's a good, healthy option, and it's affordable, then of course that's what they're going to go for, aren't they?
Now, on the nutritional panel here, they've got, all the things I talked about here. And it's low in sugar, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's got fibre in it. It's got synthetic vitamins and iron. But
great.
As I said, they actually do something a bit tricky here, is they highlight the good things and they didn't highlight the bad things.
The bad things. No, they bold the good ingredients in the ingredients list.
Now when the nutrition panel in Australia, you got 2 columns. You got per serve, then you got per 100 grams.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to look at, I think, is the important thing. Per 100 grams means a percentage.
Yeah.
So per 100 grams, so it's got 65.9, so 66% carbohydrates.
66% carbohydrates.
Yeah, so it's 2/3 of it is carbohydrates. Now, what do carbohydrates break down in the body? Do they break down into...
Oh, gee, let me think. Sugar?
Sugar. Okay, so when you eat this, like in the packet, it's 66% complete carbohydrate.
Yeah.
But once you eat it, it turns into sugar.
Yeah, wow.
So 2/3 of this will turn into sugar in your body.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, shocking, eh?
Yeah, and fairly quickly as well because it's highly processed.
Absolutely heavily processed. And, of the ingredients, it's got bolded wheat and bolded barley. So you look, wheat and barley, it sounds healthy.
Healthy, yeah.
They're not healthy because they're heavily processed. 97% of this is processed whole grain wheat. Now, wheat's got some problems, hasn't it?
Look, yes, it does. I mean, can be problematic for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's highly processed. It's quite modified, modern day wheat. So there's a lot of issues right there before you even look at anything else.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of the top selling healthy cereals in the Australian market, I would say.
Said, I was going to come across with Fruit Loops and Cocoa Pops, but I don't want to insult everyone's intelligence.
No, everyone knows.
Yeah, I tried to pick one that's an inverted commas, healthy. Weirdly, they've got a different language underneath it. I don't know what that language is.
Oh, really?
It looks French, but what do I know? I'm stupid Aussie. I know nothing about any other languages. But I did find another form of Wheat Bix, which was quite amazing.
Yeah, this
you suggested this.
I suggested this, yeah.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free, yeah.
So again, healthy.
Yeah.
But and there's no sugar on the label. You ready for this?
Yep.
They've got whole grain sour gum and golden syrup.
Oh, well, there you go. That's not sugar, is it, Steve?
That's one of your 72 forms of sugar.
That's one of the 72.
So it's got whole grain sour gum, heavily processed, golden syrup, salt, and synthetic vitamins in there.
Wow. I love the way the name of the product doesn't even have any, what the name of it is in it.
Yeah.
Because it's gluten-free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two things there. A lot of people think gluten-free products are healthy. They're not all healthy.
No.
So of course they're going, it's gluten-free, it must be healthy. It also says it's sugar-free, so I'll grab that one. So, but it's still got the sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's still high in refined carbohydrates.
Yes.
So
even higher.
Even
it's
higher?
about 70%.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's even worse than the other one.
Well, you got no gluten, but it's got nothing else in it. It's got nothing. Oh, it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's a worry, isn't it? So,
it really is quite a terrible processed thing. But as I said, it turns into sugar in the body. So, and it's got they add magnesium. They don't say what form of it is, or anything like that. But it's got the synthetic vitamins in there.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of these products do have vitamins in them, and they market that as well. But they're all synthetic.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be that good for you. And then, they're usually not very high amounts. But if you're having multiple products throughout the day, a lot of people are eating processed foods throughout the day with all fortified.
Yeah.
How much of these synthetic vitamins are you getting, which don't really get absorbed anyway? They just build up in your system. So that's not a good thing either.
Isn't it weird that you got to analyse labels now because they are misleading? And it's like that Wheat Bix is a classic one. The only unfortunate thing about Wheat Bix is what you normally have it with cow's milk.
That's right.
Which has all sorts of other problems in it. Nothing label related, but it's got sort of hormones in it. It's got IGF-1 for cancers. It increases prostatic cancer risk. It's got lactose as sugar naturally found in it. So it's a problem. And then guess what I used to do when I used to have Wheat Bix was put sugar on it.
Sugar on top. You put sugar on the top and then let it go crunchy.
Yes.
That was an Australian thing to do in the 80s and 90s, wasn't it?
Oh, God, I used to do a lot of these things. It's funny how I had gut issues and stuff.
I know.
It's strange. So food is a real tricky one. Yeah. And going back to our peanut butter in a hand here, now, as a percentage, this has got 50% fat. And you might go, oh, my God, that's a lot of 50 grams of fat. But the amount per serve you spread on I think it was 10 grams of fat. So depending on the peanuts you use, if you use like Nobby's peanuts, no, I don't think I do in this one, but that's got a lot of monounsaturated fats. They don't break down the fat levels here, but this has probably got a lot of omega-6s, I imagine. But sometimes they break down the fats in the label, and you want monounsaturated fats and anything with an odd number, 3s, 5s, 7s, 9s. They're all good. 6s we get a lot of anyway, so you don't want to eat too many of those.
No, you don't.
But sugar, when I said before it was the second ingredient, the amount you spread is only 2.7 grams. So it's not a lot.
No.
Now, the only problem is people put this on bread, which is crap,
Yeah, exactly. And what's the serving size? 10 grams?
20 grams.
Oh, 20 grams is serving size.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good because sometimes they're 10 grams. It really is just 2 level teaspoons essentially. So who's going to put that much? Maybe it'll layer it on thick, don't they?
I do
generally?
love peanut butter.
Look, I have to admit peanut butter is my kryptonite. I haven't had peanut butter in 6-8 months now. And
do you want some?
No.
This is full.
Don't even open the lid. Do not open the lid, Steve.
Stick your finger in there.
Cruel. So cruel.
Go on.
No, and I can't smell it.
Oh, come on.
No.
I love the smell of it.
I know, I love it.
There is a warning on this, though.
Is there?
It says, warning, may contain nuts.
Oh, no.
Friggin' hope so.
Well, actually, peanuts really aren't actually a nut. They're a legume.
Yeah,
aren't they? So
that's right.
But yes, I haven't had it for a long time. But I do love peanut butter. I stopped having it because the histamine issue. But and also because I would eat a lot of crunchy peanut butter. So
now we've got to address the elephant in the room here, which is, remember the star rating on labels?
Yeah, the star rating.
It's very misleading. Peanut butter, if you think it's horrible, it's got a 4 out of 5 star health rating.
Does it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I'm not saying that it's all wrong because our protein bars, if they still do, but they got a 5-star health rating. I think we put it on the label though. Yeah.
There you go. Didn't know that either.
Yeah, no, it's a 5-star health rating when you look it up. I don't know if we bothered with that because Milo got a high health star rating.
Milo did.
Well, yeah, because per serving, it's only got a tiny amount of sugar.
And that's the thing that people need to be aware of if you're not, is look at the serving size.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these diet products and that sort of thing, they say, there's only 100 calories per serve.
Yeah.
But a serving size could be half a palm. Yeah. So to get an actual decent size, you're having 3 to 4. So then that brings it back up to just a regular amount of calories, not for anyone that's on a diet. So you've really got to look at the serving sizes because they're generally pretty small.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Milo I think it was 5 grams, like a teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Which means that if it's half sugar, and I think it's more than that, but say it's half sugar, then that's saying 2.5 grams of sugar, which is 3/5 of bugger all. But the amount that kids, I used to, guilty, used to put in my milk.
You'd put in Milo and a little bit of milk and stir it up, and it'd be a layer of Milo like this.
Yeah.
And then you'd eat the Milo.
And why the hell never it mixed? It never mixed.
No, it never mixed.
It just was like
You're
this.
right. It just
it was
sit there.
hydrophobic.
Sit there and layers.
It's like an oil thing.
Yeah.
But then I discovered Quick, which was another one.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
that's
remember
the
that?
strawberry Quick.
I used to have chocolate Quick. My sister used to
I
have
love the strawberry, yeah.
And that used to dissolve, and it was like,
Yeah, 'cause
and
it's
you know,
like
I'd have
micronized.
I wouldn't even use a teaspoon, use a spoon.
Yeah.
You know,
like a dessert spoon
Yeah.
or a tablespoon in some
Yeah.
people's cases. Yeah.
So oh God, it's reminding me of being young.
Yeah.
But that's food labels. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it? It's like it is a little bit tricky, but you know, so some of the things you watch out for is usually said serving size.
Serving size.
And also, remember, this is just your humble peanut butter. It's 5-star, and it also says that it's, quote, a source of niacin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fine. No artificial colours or preservatives. It's brown, so of course it doesn't have any of that, and it wouldn't need to. No. Although I was surprised that chocolate bar had colouring.
Oh, yeah, well, were you?
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah.
There's no preservatives because you don't need to preserve it.
No.
And it's suitable for vegetarians and vegans.
Well, it is.
There you go.
There you go.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
So that, if you just read the bottom of the label, it's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's not bad because of the amount you have. And, you know, I don't think nuts, I ate a lot of nuts. I should have bought in my mixed nuts for you.
I know you didn't bring any macadamias this week, Steve. I was very disappointed.
I should have.
I know.
Next time.
Next week, Steve, come on.
Absolutely. I'll bring in some nuts and they're beautiful. I bought you an apple, though.
You did. You bought me a mega apple. Yeah, I know.
Now, speaking of mega apple, what's the label on the apple?
Oh.
Trick question, there is none.
There is none.
So the most healthy food is ones without labels.
True.
Because it's fruit and vegetables.
Yeah. That's right.
They're just sitting there and they've got no nutrition label on it. You don't need to worry about that because they're mostly water and they're very good for you. So if you have to read the label of your foods, because therefore it's probably processed.
Yep, definitely. So that's very interesting with the food. But we've got some pretty cool stuff, which we move on to supplements.
Yeah, do sups.
I know you supplements.
Now you got this very official letter from the Complementary Medicines Australia. Now,
did.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm a member of that. Is a naturopath for you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
yep.
you are.
Yep, I am. Yeah, so I thought I'd pull that out because we're going to talk about adulterations in particular supplements and things that people can maybe swap some herbs for different herbs or add things to bring up sort of the levels of the active ingredient to make it look like it's better than it is. So that's something we can have a talk about. But where do you think we should start, Steve, with the supplements?
Well, this CMA thing is very interesting where there's concerns about ordering things online.
Yes.
And over the internet because you may be getting an inferior product.
Yes, yeah, because in Australia we have very rigid standards.
Yep.
We have the TGA and all that sort of thing, and they make sure that everything's above board and regulated well. But obviously people can get things online from other countries and bring them in, which some of these other countries maybe don't have as stringent standards as Australia does.
Yep.
So you never know what you're going to be getting in a lot of these things, particularly if they're fairly inexpensive. So they're not going to put all the expensive herbs in there. They're going to try and find a cheap alternative. So there's quite a few. So there's a couple of examples here that are pretty interesting. So Hoodia Gordini.
Oh.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of Hoodia Gordini,
Yeah,
Steve.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So that one there can be adulterated with prickly pear because it has a very similar analysis when in the testing. So they can it can look like the Hoodia, but it's actually prickly pear, which is much cheaper.
Yeah, and not as effective.
Not as effective at all. So there's that. Pomegranate extract. So standardization, which we will talk about what that means, standardized extracts. It's increased with ellagic acid. So they put extra ellagic acid in it.
Yeah.
Just to bring up that level to make it look like that they're using
It's called spiking.
That's right, exactly. Using that the proper concentrate of that ingredient. So another one, Serona repens, so saw palmetto, very common one.
Good one for the old men like me.
That's right. Can be adulterated with carotenoids.
Yep. Which is the pigment found in vegetables.
Orangey sort of. And then enriched with palm oil. So we all know palm oil, we want to kind of stay away from that for multiple reasons. So there's some, he goes, here's a good one here. So cranberry can be adulterated with peanut skins, grape seeds, mulberry fruit, hibiscus, black bean skins, black rice.
Jesus.
I know. So you don't really know what's on the label may not actually be what you're getting.
Wow.
in a lot of these cheaper brands.
So labels could be wrong anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So not only do we have to decipher the label, but then we have to decide if the label is actually telling the truth or not as well.
Yeah. And so the reason they do that, because those herbs you mentioned are quite expensive.
Yes, they are. Yeah. So they're trying to find a cheap way around it, which is why the product is cheap. So if you look at two products and one's got the actual, the good quality extract and one has an adulteration, this one's way cheaper. You're not going to know that one's adulterated. So you're going to just think, well, this one's a lot cheaper. And if you're budgeting, of course you're going to go for the cheaper one, aren't you?
Amazing.
Thinking you're getting the same thing, but there's a reason it's cheaper.
Well, yeah, that's one way you can sort of trick the consumer. And I've got another way which is not tricking the consumer, but it's kind of like online dating. You heard of catfishing?
Yes.
Yeah, which
I've been caught a few times in that over the years.
I think I must mention that, but it's when people, I don't know, to sort of there's photos of themselves, but they're like super made up, or they're
portraying themselves differently, or a completely different person. So
or they posted themselves years ago when they were super lean.
Yes, I got one of them. It's like 30 years old. The photo was 30
really?
years old.
It's like black and white. And
no, it was a body. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say because I don't think they'd listen. But bodybuilder, but they hadn't been a bodybuilder for 20 years.
Oh, right.
And I was like,
hang
on a minute.
Was he a little out of shape compared to?
A little out of shape, literally a lot less hair. Just quite different. So that's a catfish type of situation there, really. You know, so, and not that it was all about looks, but you kind of want to meet someone and actually know who you're looking for. It's
all about honesty. I've had limited online, because I've been, with Beck for 10 years. I haven't dated anyone else. But so I've missed the thing. But just before that, there was some online dating, and there's people who really, it's like, are you serious? It's like, they spin it, but it's still kind of true.
Yeah.
Like that is that guy you're talking about.
Well, that was still him, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just 20 years ago. And he changed much in that 20 years?
Yeah, like a different person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Put on a bit of weight.
You put on a bit of weight, So essentially that's an example of what
now, I'm going to show you some naturopathic catfishing. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, I've got a herb for you. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get the right supplement here. This is a herbal supplement.
Yep.
And it is Tonkat Ali.
Yep.
Which is a golden herb that we all love, right? Now, Tonkat Ali, it says it's got 400 milligrams. Here it is. 400 milligrams of Tonkat Ali. Now, our product, our Jupiter product, has got 100 milligrams of Tonkat Ali extract.
Yep.
Did you hear that little key word?
No, Steve. What does that mean? Tell me.
So this has got 400. So you're going to go, well, 400 is better than 100, isn't it?
Oh, well, you would think so, yeah.
This is just dried Tonkat Ali, 400 milligrams. Ours is a 100-to-1 extract of Tonkat Ali.
Yep.
So you need 10 grams of the herb to make 101 extract of the active component.
That's right.
So that's over 20 times stronger than this.
Yeah.
So this product is catfishing unique.
Yep, it is.
This is a herbal one that you don't want to go for because it's just Tonkat dried.
Yeah.
It's not extract, which is standardised potent dose. And all the studies on Tonkat, for example, are done on the 100-to-1 extract.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty... but this one, it was quite cheap. It was where I looked it up online was $14.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so...
Jeez. And does it say whole plant, or doesn't even say it?
Says, as you can see...
Doesn't even say whole plant. Oh, there you go. So because you can have... In other countries, I think more so than in Australia, you can have it on the label whole plant, or you can have standardised extract. So people obviously think, oh, well, whole plant's got to be better. It's more natural. They're not changing it. But it can be a lot weaker in this instance. It's not concentrated. It's not standardised to be the right dose every time as well. And that's the other thing. So if you're looking at labels, bear that in mind as well. If you're looking at an extract or a whole plant part.
Well, it's like herbal medicine. So a classic one we know is echinacea, which I think most people know. Purple cone. Well, do they know it's purple coneflower or echinacea? Everyone knows that echinacea, don't they?
They all know echinacea,
okay, good. I don't like using Latin names, that.
No.
But anyway, echinacea comes in a couple of forms. There's purpurea and angustifolia. And angustifolia is the one you love to use. It costs $1 billion. I haven't bought any for yonks.
No, I haven't.
It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
And you use the root of it.
Yeah.
And that's where all the, echinicides and all that sort of stuff are in. So, but purpurea still works, but it's the whole plant.
Yeah.
So when people say, I've got some echinacea, you kind of go, it's like, well, what's its last name?
Yeah.
Is it purpurea or angustifolia?
Yeah.
And assuming the label's correct and we're not being, dudded, the angustifolia. And that's why like you always try and get the practitioner, because we're practitioners, we can get the practitioner on these stuff, and that's it, because practitioners have run their eye over it. And if you smell a rat,
oh yeah, look, there's such high standards with practitioner and products, well, all products, but practitioner products as well. And there's a lot of research behind it. I know, you know all about the companies, how they manufacture, all that sort of thing. So they're the ones that I generally stick to, that sort of thing. But the other thing is, you talked about the root, so echinacea root.
Yep.
So different parts of plants in herbal medicine have different actions. So sometimes you can get a herb in a supplement and they haven't even got the right part for what they're trying to sell the product for. So that's another thing you've got to watch out for, is what part are they using in the plant. So there's so many things that they can just whack on a label and you don't really know until you start looking into it.
Absolutely. And I was after I won't say the product or anything, but we were looking at a product here and it has an ingredient. I won't mention the ingredient, still being in development, but I wanted the bark of the product, because that's where these chemicals that I was chasing. And then you get these spec sheets through and it's from the whole plant or from the leaves, because the leaves grow. And eventually we found it. But what a drama. It'd be great to be slightly unethical and just go, oh, screw it, just use the leaves because it's cheap.
Yeah, that's right.
And just don't worry about the extract stuff. But we, here, and you can tell by, we're changing our labels and being full disclosure, we use extracts. So you can get more in a capsule. Yeah. And you and I formulated a few new products. We won't mention names. We won't mention they're not out yet.
They're not out, but
they are really. We really did the homework on those.
Yeah, we did.
Excited about them.
We're so excited about them. Yeah, I know. I think because we kind of help make them and we know how good they are. But yes, they're like the labels are completely transparent. Everything is on there, and that's kind of what we're trying to get across is you can't just look at a label, read it and go away. There's so many issues around that. One, what's on the label, what plant part, what's the extract, is it an extract, are they adulterating it, what part are they using, all those sorts of things you've got to look at if you're just getting something off the internet or overseas, or they're all the things you really need to look at, because otherwise, one, you're wasting your money, two, they can be toxic as well. Yeah. So, or three, they don't work.
Well, all of the above.
All of the above.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Now, I've got another one for you. Even just buying something like magnesium that everyone probably takes out there.
This is a good example, actually.
This is a good example. I've got a label here. I won't mention the name, and sitting in front of me. And it says on the label, higher absorption magnesium glycinate, 350 milligrams. Okay.
That sounds pretty good.
It's good. Yeah, magnesium, nothing wrong with that.
No.
So how much magnesium is it per capsule?
Tell me, Steve, how much is it?
It's about 85.
85 grams
because
per capsule.
That 350 is referring to 4 capsules.
Oh, there you go.
Doesn't say that anywhere.
Yeah.
But, if you looked at that, because Australian labelling, this is an overseas product, which a lot of people get from, the eBays and the iHerbs and all this sort of stuff. This is legitimately available today online.
Yep.
And it looks like you're getting 350 milligrams of magnesium glycinate.
Yep.
Now, here's the funny thing is, if I said to you this capsule has 500 milligrams of magnesium diglycinate, it's only got 50 milligrams of elemental magnesium.
That's right, which is the active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you might that's a little bit of a people don't understand that magnesium itself is a metal. It's a silvery metal that it combusts in the oxygen if you can, it's quite an unstable metal, so it has to be reacted with something.
Yep.
And we looked at different forms of magnesium for different things. So there's magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, there's magnesium, citrate, there's magnesium.
Orotate,
and we settled on a combination. I won't say what details.
Yeah.
But it's tricky, isn't it?
It is tricky.
You know? And we made sure that we're very disclosing about the element stuff.
Yes.
And funny enough, is it won't fit in a capsule what we formulated.
No,
just to give you a relatively modern, normal dose.
Yeah.
So ours is going to be a powder.
It is, yeah.
Because we're real about it.
Yeah.
It's got you can only fit 600 milligrams in a capsule.
That's right.
So if something says it's got I saw one there, a collagen with 6,000 milligrams of collagen in it.
Really?
Yeah, tablets.
Oh, wow.
You have to take 12 tablets. Then didn't say it till the very back, small writing.
It. Yeah.
So
that's the thing. So when you turn that around, a serving size, it's I'm assuming says 4 capsules.
It does say 4 capsules.
So you think, that's a cheap product. There's 60 capsules in it. That'll last me 2 months. But no, it won't. It'll last you.
Well, this I got the large serving, which is 120 milligram capsule, 120 capsules.
120.
And it's got magnesium bisglycinate, and it's
so you think you're getting capsules. 4 months, but you're really getting a month supply. Yeah. Isn't
that scary?
Yeah. So you got to watch. That's what you got to look for.
And they also put black pepper in here, which irritates the gut.
Why would you put black pepper in it?
To irritate the gut. I don't know why, because magnesium bisglycinate, and that's another thing when you're formulating this. Black pepper irritates the gut, which causes porousness to increase absorption of some nutrients. But magnesium glycinate absorbs the protein.
Yeah.
So it's absorbed anyway. So I don't know why you put black pepper in it unless to pee someone off. Because they're going to get an upset gut.
Probably.
Isn't that stupid?
That is stupid. Yeah.
I just realised that then.
Yeah.
So why would you do that?
So that's what you got to look at your actual the standardised extract, or how much elemental magnesium is in it. And how much is in the serving size. Yep. So then you've got to look at all of that.
Yep.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy
and it's
stuff.
so easy to get that stuff online.
Crazy. Now, I've got another supplement for you.
Yeah.
This is a beauty. This is a new sort of thing. I know you've got one of these too. You found one. It's in front of you, the red one.
The red one, yeah.
It's all about these new sort of ways of getting vitamins, which is having gummies.
I know. I don't. Yep. I have seen quite a few people that take gummies.
Yep.
Yeah. So you want me to talk about this one?
Well, I'll tell you about mine.
Yeah. Is yours a gummy too?
Yeah, mine's a gummy too.
Ah, there you go.
Basically, it's got per gummy is 5 grams. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and per gummy has got two gummies have got 5 grams of sugar, right?
Yep.
And the active ingredient in there is less than 1 gram.
There you go.
So you've got 4 grams of sugar in the gummy, and that's what most of the gummy is. It's what 80+% of the gummy is sugar.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Your first ingredient is glucose syrup, then sugar.
Yep.
Wow.
Then gelatin and water.
Gelatin.
So you haven't even got to the bloody, you know what I mean? And then the vitamins are just a smidgen sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
So you may as well be bloody.
You're essentially having a lolly spike with
pretty much
a little bit of dust of some type of possibly good thing, but maybe not.
These are synthetic vitamins. Even DL, alpha tocopherol.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to vitamins, but DL means synthetic.
Yeah.
So it's got literally the most synthetic, crappy forms of vitamins in there, left, right, and centre. So this is a shocker.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just not. It's like, why all the sugar?
Yeah.
You know, you're basically having sugar. 80% of it's sugar.
Yep, exactly. Well, it's very similar to the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, so your one's a cool one.
This one, I have seen quite a few people in clinic that were taking this, thinking it was quite thinking it was quite good for them. So this is a apple cider vinegar gummy. So this is for people who hate apple cider vinegar or don't want to don't like the taste of it, but they still want the health benefits of apple cider vinegar. Yeah. So I think they're going to take a gummy and everything will be good. So, but again, this one, it's got 1 gram of sugar in it. You think, it's only 1 gram, but the serving size is up to 6 a day. So that's 6 grams of sugar, which is over a teaspoon of sugar.
Yeah.
And then the amount of apple cider vinegar in it. So going back to what we said about the labels, and the most ingredient comes first on the list, and the lowest amount is last. So apple cider vinegar is third last. So there's not much apple cider vinegar in it. There's a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
2, the apple cider vinegar is actually going to have no effects if you're having it in a gummy anyway. It doesn't have the same effect as actually taking apple cider vinegar.
That's right.
Yeah, because they've got apple cider vinegar and all the amazing health benefits on the label, people think, well, that's such an easy way to take it. I'll just take it in a gummy because it tastes nice. I don't have to, swallow the vinegar. But you're essentially just swallowing a heap of sugar.
It's just so unnecessary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I know what they're trying to do. They're going to say, at least they're taking something. And it's like, no. You can do way better than that.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can see the labels here are just absolutely crazy when they're all over the place. So when you're reading labels, 2 things. Firstly, look for, with foods, try and look for the ingredients, go from most to least.
Yep.
And look for the first ingredient, sugar, chuck it out.
Chuck it out, yeah.
no matter what is going on with it. It's really not good. I mean, as I said, for this bar and that peanut butter, the first ingredient is peanuts and collagen, because it's collagen bar.
Yep.
So that's what you want in there, and you don't want sugars. You want them to be way down the list, if at all, And so when you have that healthy bar that I spoke about earlier, it's the most commonly sold bar in Australia.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yep. It's a shocker.
Yeah, wow.
First ingredient is literal chocolate that goes on a Mars bar.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Tastes good.
Tastes good, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
But then you got to weigh up the compliance thing too. So we do have to address that elephant in the room. Is people go, but I want it to taste good, otherwise I won't do it. And you and I take Andrew Graff's liquid.
We take some pretty awful stuff.
Yeah, I bought a bottle and you got some of it, and it's like, poor staff member here, she suffered the wrath of us, but she's fine now. She got over her infection, of course.
She did.
But it just tastes disgusting. So you and I take it. I won't mention her name. Took it, but it's like most people won't.
No.
So there's got to be compliance, and that's what we've done here with our bar here. Is you're going to get collagen in, and these things taste great.
They do taste good.
Love them. So and got less of the sugar in it, so it can be done. So don't settle for second best with your body.
No.
Don't take synthetic vitamins. You know.
And that's the other thing, I think. Look out for what vitamins, like if you get a multivitamin or, I mean, I've seen people in clinic who've been taking different supplements and I always look at them.
Yeah.
And so many of them have synthetic forms of the vitamins. So that's something you've got to watch out for. So folic acid is synthetic, terrible.
Yeah.
Cyanocobalamin, I know some people say it's okay, and it can be, but if you have issues with maybe have some methylation issues, then that's not going to be any good for you at all either. Yeah. Magnesium oxide's a really big one, talking about magnesium. People look for magnesium products and they get a cheap one. It's got magnesium oxide in it. Great if they have constipation, but that's about it.
Well, see, magnesium oxide's poorly absorbed. The advantage of magnesium oxide, and there's not many, is that it's basically a one. So if you put 100 milligrams in, you're going to get about 50 milligrams of elemental magnesium.
Yeah.
But that's useless, not absorbed.
Yeah, not absorbed.
Our magnesium product, for the record, has no magnesium oxide in it. No, any of our product, no ATP science product has a magnesium oxide in it whatsoever. We don't use that crap.
No.
It's inorganic magnesium.
Yeah.
Inorganic means without carbon.
Yeah.
For the techo nerds out there, but it does not contain any of that stuff. No. None of our magnesiums do.
No. So look for that. Look for what forms.
Yep.
Even, your CoQ10s, if you're getting, there's different forms of CoQ10 as well. Ubiquinol, vitamin E, as you said, there's synthetic and there's natural forms. So you may as well not bother with the synthetic ones.
No.
So that's something to really look out for. Another thing, even another one, because I in clinic, things that I use. So things like glutathione, that type of thing. So, but very easy broken down in your gut and you don't absorb any of it. So you have to have it in a particular form. And I know there's a lot of glutathione out there now that you can just get it off the shelf. One, it should really be in the fridge. It shouldn't be on the shelf.
It's not very stable.
Not very stable. And two, it needs to be in a particular, like I get the liposomal form. So it's actually encased in like a phospholipid type transporter that will transport it and get to where it's supposed to go without being broken down by gastric acids and things like that.
Nice, yeah.
So those sorts of things are also what you've got to look at. I mean, fish oils is another one. Fish oils is a really interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, probably 8 out of 10 people I speak to don't realise you've got to keep your fish oil in the fridge. Yeah, because it can go rancid so easily. It's
super unsaturated. So in other words, there's lots of double bonds, lots of reasons to go unsaturated.
Yep. So that's one thing. And the ones on that, there was a big study done. It was do you remember that study they did years ago on fish oils in Australia? And I think 80% of them they tested were rancid.
Jeez.
Of all the popular brands, because they're sitting on the shelf, and also full of toxins. So that's another thing. And you can get fish oils in a big container like this.
I've seen them.
500, 1,000 fish oils for $20.
Yeah.
You think, that must be great. They're full of microplastics, heavy metals, all of that sort of thing. So you've got to watch out for that.
Mercury's a classic one found in fish.
Yeah, because mercury in fish. So look at the company that you're getting it for. Look into the company. Look at their testing practices as well. So like fish oils, a lot of them, they send them to testing facilities and they should actually have the breakdown of how many toxins and heavy metals and plastics and all that sort of thing are in them. So that's something you should be aware of as well with your supplements, and keep them in the fridge. a lot of people don't know. So that's another thing.
There's a lot to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
The most expensive supplement is the one you don't need.
Yeah.
And you can tell what people need.
Yeah.
And give them the highest quality stuff out there that's gone through all the rigors of nerds like us looking at them for years. And, you know, and so as I said, you've got to go get the best stuff you can get.
And another tip you can get on the ARTG website.
ARTG is the TGA website.
Yeah.
And you can
look up. So another thing is excipients.
Excipients.
So excipients in products. So tablets particularly, I mean a lot of powders as well, but tablets, they have a lot of excipients in them. So excipients and fillers and things like that. So they're things that they put in them that they don't actually have to put on the label.
Yeah.
So you don't know that they're in there. So you can actually go to the ARTG site and look up your product and it will list the excipients. Yes. And sometimes there's people that have reactions to supplements and they're not going to think that it's a supplement that's causing the problem. But I have in the past seen, checked them out, supplements that they're taking, and the excipients, there is an excipient in there that they're reacting to. So that's not an uncommon thing. So you want to check out what is in the whole product, even the things that aren't listed on the label, so you can look into that as well. So that's a really good idea as well. So
I've got a funny story about that.
Yes.
Someone in customer service here sent me an email and said, which one of our products contain iodine or iron? Because I have an allergy to iron, and it's like, no, you don't.
No.
You've got iron coursing throughout your body and iodine.
Yeah.
You haven't got an allergy to that.
Yeah.
You got an allergy to the supplement that they gave you that's got that stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's a true story. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I got that email. I went, what? You know, it's like saying I'm allergic to water.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot, iodine and all that sort of
thing. Yeah. And it's the excipients because they've taken an iodine supplement. Or with the iron, and I'm going to guess this one, if they've taken iron sulfate and it's gone through them like a laxative and made their poo brown, so they think I'm allergic to it.
Yep.
And it's just a crappy form of it.
Yeah, so crappy forms. It's iron oxide, zinc oxide, all those cheap forms as well. Not so good. So yeah, look at that. And gluten as well. They put in a lot of tablets as well. So look at the excipients to see if there's any gluten in that if you're celiac. There's something you've got to think about as well. So there's a lot.
All herbs and extracts. It's a very tricky area, isn't it?
It is. So either go with a really reputable brand, or really check out what you're having.
Yeah.
And even how you're taking it. And the other thing is look at everything we didn't mention. Look at everything you're taking, because I have had people that are taking 4 or 5 different supplements, and a lot of them are doubling and tripling and quadrupling up on some type of vitamin or nutrient. And so they're overdosing because they're not looking at everything they're taking. So you've got to look at everything and look at the labels and look at every mineral that's in there, every vitamin that's in there. Look if you're overdoing it, because some of them can be dangerous if you're taking too much of them.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful of that.
The classic, and D's too much,
Yeah. So, be careful of all of those things. So there's a lot in it. So really look at your supplements. Don't just grab a cheap one off the shelf and think it's great.
That's the take-home message, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about all we have time for.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, isn't it? I'm going to go get some gummies now. No, I'm not. I'm not going to go. No, unless I want to have for dessert as always. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys all next week.
All right. See ya.